Okay, now we're ready to put some detail on this heart. So I'm going to do this checkerboard pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it. I'm going to run the stripes this way first, and then I'll go this way. But first, let's just start here. You can use a ruler or something straight if you'd like. I'm just going to make me a little line to start. I like to start in the middle because then I don't end up with a, it just kind of looks more uniform that way. So I'm going to add my tape on this line. I think I'm going to have to take my glasses off to see. So just line your tape up. And I do not provide tape, so you'll have to get your tape if you want to do this pattern. I like to have the bigger square, so I'm going to double it. You can do the smaller squares if you like, and I'm just going to overlap it just a tad, just to make it thicker, just like that. Then you're going to cut you a couple pieces. This is just going to be your guideline. That's it. Had to think a minute. Your mind gets all these things going at the same time, so I don't want to forget anything. So this is going to be your guide tape, and so your next strip is going to make one just right above that. I don't think I made that long enough. Okay, I didn't. I'll use it for the next piece. And then after you lay that, you'll go ahead and put your next one on. And just make sure you overlap that. Just do exactly the same. And you'll move this up. I don't think we're going to need another one actually. So we're going to move it down. So those came apart. So I'm just going to do them back together. And add my other stripes here. It's real easy. Just takes a little time. More patience. And Mike can get one more stripe here. I think so. A small one at the bottom. And also on your base coat, you do not need a second coat because we're going to be putting layers of paint on it, and so you don't want your paint too thick. So just one layer of your base paint is all you need. Now we're going to save this for later because we will need it. Now go back and make sure that it's taped down really good. Sometimes the paint will seep through anyway, but we want to try to keep it from seeping through too much. Now I'm going to use my stirrer because depends on how long your paint's been sitting there. You want to make sure it's good and fresh. So I'm going to stir that up, and I'm actually just going to use, well, I think I'm going to use the brush. I'm just going to use, you can wash it of course, but I'm not going to wash it. I'm just going to dip it in here because it's kind of a red color anyway. And we're just going to lightly run a coat of paint over this stripe, just like this. Don't have to do it thick. In fact, you don't want to do it thick. You just want to make sure you get it covered. Just going to lightly give it a color. A little variation of color. You may have to use your little brush around here. Otherwise, you're going to be going into your other heart. So I'm just going to use this here to separate two hearts. Okay. Finish painting your stripes on. I'm going to be taking this tape off as soon as I finish. You can let it dry. I just like to take it off right away. That's what I do. And you're going to save it. So make sure that you tape it up somewhere and leave it for your, because you're going to put them back on. And I made a little mess there, so get your baby wipe, or you can get a little wet rag and just wipe it off, and it's okay. We're going to paint over it anyway. Alright, so after you do that, we're going to pull these off. And like I said, I'm going to save this, so I'm going to just tape it right up here. I'll keep it in order so I'll know which one goes where. And if you can see, there's just a little variation in colors. You can also use a gray. I like to kind of keep the red going. So I just use a garnet color. And there you have that. I'm going to blow dry this, and then we're going to start the next step. Now we're going to do our next step, and we're going to tear off some more tape. This time we're going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to start in the middle because I just want it to be even. So I'm going to just use the heart center as a starting place. There you go. Just make sure you overlap this, do this exact same thing. If you like the little small checks, you can just use the one small tape. You can also buy the double size tape. This is just what I had, so I'm just going with this. Make sure you use your divider tape. It seems like a lot of steps, but it's really pretty easy. And it looks really good. People like it. Even if you're not artistic, you can certainly do this. This is easy. Time, I'm going to add a little black into the red. So we're going to put a little bit on this plate here. Let's see, I don't think I need that anymore. So we're going to take a little bit of the garnet that we used the last time, and I'm going to use a little bit of this black so we can darken it up just a little bit. I'm just going to stick that right in there like that. That's just how I do things. And we're just going to tone it just a little bit, vary it just a little bit, variation. than what we have on there already. It's just a little bit darker, as you can see. You don't need much because you're not going to put a thick coat on here. So make sure it's all taped down good, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did the first time. Just going to drag it through. Now, if you don't want to do like a full coverage, you just want to streak it up like that, you can certainly do that. That's what I'm going to do. See how that looks. You can just completely cover it, or you can just do the little stripes. And I know I'm getting it on there, but that's okay. We're going to paint that, so it should be okay. I may have to get my little small paintbrush in there. Now, it's real thin, so it shouldn't take long to dry. Like I said, you can use your blow dryer. You can just go do something, come back. It will not take long to dry at all. So I'm going to get this little brush here and get this little piece in here. And I think that's it. And now I'm going to blow dry it some more. First I'm going to do this a little bit more. Now we're not going to take the tape off because we're going to apply the tape that we used for the first set of stripes back on there. So you're just going to put them exactly back where they were. So let me take my glasses off so I can see. And you can barely see it, but you can see it. My goodness. My eyes are getting bad. Okay. That looks straight. Make sure that you put the tape right back on the same spot that you took it off from the very beginning. And it's going to turn out right. It might not look like it, but it will. Now, this time I'm going to use my sponge, and I'm going to use the black. So I'm not going to get too much on there, just a little bit. And I'm just going to pat it. You can use the brush, you just have to clean it out, which is fine. You can do that. I'm just going to do it this way. It works either way. And you're just going to paint the little squares. And that is going to be it. And then we're going to take this tape off, let it dry, Then we'll move on to our next heart, and I'm not gonna do the checkered pattern on it. You can if you want to. If you want to do the red and the white, or if you want to do pink and white, you can do whatever you like. I think I'm just gonna do black and white stripes on that, so just to make it a little bit easier and to give it just a different variety of look. This does not have to be perfect. It's going to look good. In fact, sometimes because it is like a checkered pattern, it looks just fine if it's not. Sometimes you might have a little bit of paint running out from under your tape. You can go back and touch it up, or you can leave it. I'm sure it'll look fine. I've had it look good. I've had people just leave it and it looked just fine. So you can do whatever you'd like. Once you get something painted, and if you put paint on it and you don't like it, if you wipe it off with a baby wipe or a wet rag, it'll come right off. If you wait till it dries, of course it's not. You'll have to repaint it. But if you get it off right away, it'll just come right off. It's great. Baby wipes are great. So I use them quite a bit because I mess up a lot. Yep, I do. Alright, we're about done. This is the fun part, taking the tape off and seeing how it looks. So, just make sure you take it from the top down. I'm going to just take it off and stick it all on a tile here together. Ooh, like it. Starting to look right now. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. That is a really cool pattern. I like it.